Hey, everybody. Great to see you again. Great to be here. And I've just been thinking, with everything going on in the world, it's one of our biggest focuses that we have really to help people connect to the best version of themselves so that they can connect to their purpose and their calling. And what I know is in doing that, we can completely change the conversations, how we deal with people that we might see as different or have different beliefs, and actually come together and solve some of the biggest problems that we have. And I know, and what I want to talk about today is actually about our mission statements. And it can be so important, but I think we need to completely ditch how we think about mission statements. We recently started working with this amazing woman, Carrie Childers, who's become a coach and challenged us on our mission statement that we had. So let me share a couple thoughts with you on this. First of all, I think there's this huge problem with mission statement, right? It isn't working. They're either long, they're confusing, they're not memorable. And instead of moving people forward into the great work that we all can do, people are just getting bored and withdrawing or just ignoring us, even though we have a passion in our heart to go do something and do good and make a difference in the lives of people we get to serve, what we get to sell, whatever it happens to be. So think about this. Is it possible to transform our life and our organization with a driving mission statement that really matters? Now, imagine how much more engaged you would personally feel if you knew the work you did every single day played into an important story, created transformational results, served people in a powerful way. That's why we call our company Beyond Influence. What if you were affecting somebody in such a positive way that they then impacted more people in a positive way, even outside of your influence? Because here's what I've come to realize is a really clearly defined mission statement is more than just inspiring words, something you do as an exercise when you're all together and you have somebody in the room maybe facilitating this. You know what? It gives us direction. And so Carrie had us go through an exercise that comes from Donald Miller. And I wanted to share this with you because it's been really transformational with us. And we're honestly still in the messy middle of doing this, but I'm like, this is great work that we can be doing right now. So here's some guiding principles that we're going to talk about. A mission statement can create alignment and unity with the team. It can increase engagement with all the people in our organization and foster a sense of ownership. It can help us recruit the right people that would love to be part of that mission. And I also think when we have that kind of clarity, it's going to increase our productivity. So instead of waking up in a fog and maybe wondering what to do or why to do it, because right now making decisions is even harder. Right now with so much change happening in the world everywhere, economically, socially, my goodness, it's a different world, right? And it feels like making decisions today, this is maybe for me, is like I'm constantly making them with incomplete information. But I still have to make decisions and move forward, and having that clear mission statement can be a really great way to give me the courage sometimes to make decisions that I need to make. So let's start with this. Think about your own mission statement. Now, if you're at a company, here's a question. Do you even know your company's mission statement, or do you got to go search through emails or pull out your file folders and say, oh yeah, here's what it is? I would encourage you to just do this. Go write down your current mission statement. Here was ours that we have been working on. This has really been kind of my mission statement for years. And that is equipping and inspiring leaders to accomplish what's been inspired in them. Now, to me personally, I think it's awesome. But let me ask you a question. You just heard our mission statement. Does that resonate with you? Does that say, hey, that connects to my story. That connects to my journey. Oh my goodness. I want to have a conversation with John or with this organization. And as I started looking at that mission statement, I had to ask myself this question. What is the biggest challenge with my mission statement? as it stands right now. And I had to be real. Here's what I wrote down. I have my notes here on the screen. I said, well, it's boring. It's meaningful to me. I don't know if it's meaningful to other people. It's actually a bit nebulous. There's some vague language in there. I don't think it's inspiring or exciting to others. It doesn't really include others in their story, and it definitely doesn't give any kind of direction or action plan. So I had to write down and say, okay, if I'm going to write a mission statement, what are my goals and my objectives? And you need to come up with your own. This is maybe if you're going to rewrite a mission statement, say, what is most important to you? So here's what I wrote. I want a unifying message that gets our team and our customers excited as soon as they hear it. It gives each team member a clear role and a path to succeed. And each team member connects and resonates to the mission statement. Okay. And I have a note here that my wife, she likes the word meaningful, that the mission statement to them, it's meaningful to them and just who they are, not only what they want to do, but also it connects to what they want to do in the world. So here's some elements if you want to rewrite your mission statement that you guys can take some notes on this. First one, element number one is the new mission statement. It has to introduce the conflict. Remember, we want to step into the story that's already happening in the people we want to serve in their world. Honestly, when people first meet any of us, they don't care about our own backstory. They don't care that I was a fighter pilot or that I've built multiple companies or I've done this or I've been through all adversity, been in the hospital a couple of years. If I'm sitting here right now wondering about, oh my goodness, how do I keep my employees employed? How do we survive this period of time? How do we do an entirely new product launch and pivot our entire company? The first thing I want to know is that you understand me and where I'm at. So think about this. What is the conflict that is happening in that person that you want to serve in the world? What is it? Think about that. Write down some of those elements, because here's what you're doing. First of all, you're creating intrigue. Like, okay, you get me. I'm curious. You also want to summon energy and resources, because honestly, the bigger the problem that we solve in somebody else's life, the more energy they're going to have to want to engage with us. Number two, you really have to define a destination. Many of you guys know I'm writing a book. I have an entire section of my book. A third of my book is on destination. But here's a simple question to ask yourself. What would the world look like to somebody who's working with me if they were involved in this mission? Okay, remember this mission, this destination, this outcome that you want to get for people, it determines direction. It unites people toward a common cause. It also foreshadows in your mission statement an outcome. And now the other thing, and this can be either subtle or overt in how you do this, is you want to move people to action. So the third element it has to do is foreshadow the stakes of not maybe either working with you or understanding your mission. Okay, that conflict gets people to care about your mission. That outcome gets them to say, okay, maybe you can help me. And then we want to create the urgency. So, because the urgency, when we foreshadow the stakes, for people to say, okay, I'd like to have a conversation. So think about this. What would be, and when you're looking about the stakes, what would be won or lost if those stakes aren't met, if that problem isn't solved? Because action is only necessary. We only move to action, whether it's buying something on Amazon or whether it's hiring a consultant, doesn't matter. When we know the consequences and we know the stakes. Okay, no stakes, no action. So let me just share with you what I came up with and how we worked on this and put this together. So this is still, right? What's the conflict? I do a lot of leadership coaching and training and speaking, and I really think there's a huge problem in the leadership industry where they tend to focus on the why, the what, and the how, and we don't focus on who you are. What is that better version of yourself? because I can take the best teaching of Pat Lencioni, John Maxwell. I mean, you name it out there. Pick your favorite leadership over Tony Robbins, and I can run all their best stuff through me. And if I'm flawed, I'm not going to get the results they're talking about. Okay. So, but here's what I think. I think a lot of leaders are lost. They're confused. They're not connected to a purpose. They don't see the meaning in their work. I think also because of that, they don't know what to do next. And they don't know maybe why they should do what's next, if that makes sense. They're not really connected. So here, I'm going to pull this up right now, what we've written on this. Okay. So now the thing about this also, something I wrote down in our conflict is so many leaders I work with, they've worked so hard. There's no end in sight. They're tired. And they know deep down they're destined for so much more. They can have a great life at home and with their employees and with their team and just with the work they do or with their peers. So what is the destination as we brainstorm this? It's joy. Who'd love to have joy even in the times of adversity? Peace. They want to be connected to a sense of purpose. I think a lot of leaders want to feel like every aspect of their life is full. It's rich with meaning. And they know exactly, because they have their priorities straight, what to say yes to and what to say no to. And they're active in their passions. I think they want to feel like life is in balance and the important things stay important in their life. And what are some of the, I think if people don't connect to all that, what are some of the stakes? And here's what we came up with, right? Because as many of you guys know, 8 years ago, I should have passed away. God kept me here. And what happened though, if I had died then and all these dreams in my heart had died with me? That haunts me to this day, that thought that this song that was in my heart remains unsung. And I think a lot of people are thinking about, what could that look like? The other thing, if I look at my life before the accident, I felt like I was just toiling and grinding it out in mediocrity. And like, I didn't see an end to it. And I knew that I could have achieved both success, not just financial. It's not really what this is about, but it can be, and significance in the lives of others, creating a legacy. Now, remember, this is obviously very targeted toward the people that I want to serve. So I would encourage you to think about these three areas for you, for the people you want to serve, right? I think there's a lot of people that are spinning their wheels and they're being frustrated. So let me just share with you. We came up with our mission statement as a team, and then we looked at making it shorter. I'm going to share both of these with you. I think our mission statement is actually somewhere between both of these. So let me, and I would love your feedback because we're in the middle of doing this right now. Because I think this is going to be guiding our company as we come out of everything happening in the world right now for the next number of years. So honestly, love your thoughts and feedback. So here's the first one. I'll read it to you. Many leaders today work day in, day out with no end in sight, only to get to Friday feeling just as lost, confused, and purposeless as they did trying to drag themselves out of bed on Monday. And we at Beyond Influence help our clients achieve a life full of meaning, purpose, joy, and peace while still remaining in balance with their family and values. So they don't get to the end of their lives without accomplishing the dreams God put in their heart. That's version 1. Here is a much shorter version. And all right, here it is. Become the leaders that others love. Leaders are tired. Making decisions is hard. We've been there. We will help you develop a clear plan that unifies your team and will move your organization forward. Okay, so I tell you what, it takes a lot of thought and time to sit down and really get to a mission statement that I think is compelling for somebody reading it, that joins them in their world and in their story and wants to open a conversation. A mission statement that creates unity on your team and direction and purpose and guidance and clarity. And so I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I would love to hear what you have come up with. And if there's anything that I can do to be helpful in that process, please let me know and reach out. So with that, I don't know if any of you guys boosted any comments here, but I was not able to look at them while I'm doing this through Zoom. But anyway, you guys are awesome. And I sure appreciate each and every one of you. Go out there, make the world a better place. This is a time when all of us need just to be the best version of ourselves and reach across and have conversations with everybody around us. Even people maybe you thought you'd never have a conversation with, because what I have found with everybody I've ever sat down with, even if I thought I would not like them or disagree with them completely, when you show up in a place of just curiosity and learning and hopefulness that this is going to turn out well, it's what happens. And I can always find something in common with everybody I've ever sat down and had a conversation with. Anyway, love y'all. Keep rocking. And let me know if there's anything I can do for you. See ya.